Hi there, thank you for joining us for another episode of Canada's Movie and TV Hosers. This is a show where we talk about all things in pop culture that we like. New and old movies, trailers, different types of books, and TV and streaming. I'm one of your hosts, Gregory Barrett, and with me is my lovely wife, Christine.
Hi.
We do have another, our star is a little bit shy today. She's being a bit cranky, let's say.
She's just off camera here.
Yeah. I don't know, she's being a diva today.
We'll
Maybe
see.
she'll come join us.
I think she might later.
Maybe. If you enjoy this video, you can always give us the thumbs up. That'll help us out a lot. You can leave a comment down below on anything that we talk about. We're going to give out contact information at the end. It's also going to be down in the description below. You can subscribe for more content. We post new content here every week. Moving on from that, I'm going to break down this episode for you. First off, we're just going to be going into reviews this week. So we're going to be reviewing first Dungeons & Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. That is brand new this weekend. We're going to be reviewing Star Wars: The Bad Batch, the season finale of Season 2. We got episodes 15 and 16. Then we're going to review the new episode of Star Wars: The Mandalorian that we watched. Then Christine will review Star Trek Picard, the new episode from Season 3. Still got a few episodes to go on that.
Yeah, I guess so. A couple more. This one was called Dominion, but it wasn't The Dominion.
Okay. And then after that, we're going to go... we'll bring you on another new segment, one we wanted to do last week, but it's going to be called Into the DCEU. You're good with that name there, dear?
Yes.
Excellent. And we're going to start, because we're going to be reviewing all the DC Extended Universe properties, starting off with the first one, Man of Steel from 2013. So let's jump right into it, unless you had any news you want to bring up?
No, I don't have any news.
Okay. So Dungeons & Dragons: Honor Among Thieves opens up today.
Yes.
Because it's Friday now. I went and saw this last night, so this is a spoiler-free review. So
Yeah, I
no
haven't seen
questions from Christine.
Okay.
You want to go see this? Are you looking forward to it?
I would like to. It depends on what you have to say right now, but...
Well, I posted my spoiler-free reaction for once I got out of the theater, but I don't think anyone's watched it because this movie was released in limited release earlier in the week, so people have already gone to see, like in California and New York and that.
I think you're early here because you went to see it.
So I went up to see it on preview night. So spoiler-free, I had a lot of fun with this movie.
Good.
Now, I was worried that there was too much given away in the trailers.
Yeah.
Because they showed a lot and told a lot of jokes in the trailers. And they did give too much away. However, I still really had a fun time.
Good.
There's still lots of other jokes and lots of visual concepts and things in it that they didn't give away in the trailers. Because, yeah, it would have been better if I hadn't seen a lot of it, a bunch of times.
I don't like to see the trailers too much. I just like going without knowing those things. But so I'm gonna try to go see it this weekend.
I don't really want to say anything about the cast. They're all great in it. This is a really fun take on the fantasy genre because it's completely different from Lord of the Rings or anything that we've seen in Middle Earth. And it's completely different from Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, it's totally different.
So this is a family-friendly version, is what they've made.
Oh, okay, that's also
now
nice.
maybe you don't want to take kids like maybe 5 and under. Might be a bit much for them. I don't know. Or older kids. That's up to you. Teenagers could definitely see this.
Okay.
So this is really a family-friendly movie.
Anybody that could play the game would basically be able to go to see it. But
they can take their kids with them too, right?
Okay.
And it's there's nothing inappropriate. It's just a lot of good fun and swashbuckling adventure.
Right. It has the handsome guy from Bridgerton in it.
What's his name again?
The French guy.
Oh yeah, you asked me to look that up before, and
it's a French name.
I couldn't pronounce the name.
Yeah.
So
the handsome guy.
Dungeons & Dragons: Honor Among Thieves is
wasn't in season 2.
Currently sitting at a certified fresh 90% rating on Rotten Tomatoes
really
from critics, 92% audience score.
Oh, that sounds very good.
So I mean, it's got a great cast. Chris Pine is really funny in it.
Good.
Michelle Rodriguez, she's great in this. I mean, she's great in everything. Okay, so it's Regé-Jean Page.
Yes.
Okay.
That's him.
Justice Smith is in this. He's really good. I would prefer if they hadn't given away a lot of his jokes
Yeah, I
in
saw
the
some
trailers.
of those jokes in the
but
trailer. That
he's
was
still
funny.
really
He's
funny.
The goof element.
He's still really funny.
Good.
And get this, I just learned this before the show. Sophia Lillis is the other member of their group. She's in the trailer. She's like the little druid sprite creature.
Okay. I don't know,
we've seen her before. She was in It Chapter 1.
Oh gosh.
She played the girl.
The girl. There's more
You remember,
girls.
You remember the group of... It was a group
Yeah,
of
the
kids.
group
It's
of
mostly
kids.
guys, and then there's
Yeah,
the one
she
older
played
girl.
Okay, she played...
That was her.
Okay. Well,
And also...
Those It movies scare me. And series, I should say, and movie.
Okay, I'm not going to spoil it, but there is another actress that we've seen... Actually seen a lot lately, and she's not in any of the trailers that I saw, but she's in it as well. So keep an eye out for this actress. You'll recognize her immediately because we've seen her in like 5 other properties.
Sounds good. Well, I'm looking
End of
forward
the
to
day,
if I get to go see it. We don't have another snowstorm.
The story... We're not supposed to.
Okay, good.
The story... It was pretty... It moved along really fast. Yeah. It could have used some improvement. There was a couple times that it dragged. But overall, for a 2-hour and 14-minute movie, it kept me engaged for almost the whole time.
I have one question about it. Only one. Does it open for a sequel?
No, this is non-spoiler, okay? But something like this, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, it seems like somebody would have many movies.
They could. There's so many stories, so many characters. You don't have to do a sequel with these guys. You can just do more in this universe.
It doesn't end it. You could basically have more of these.
Like this could be similar to the MCU. You could have all these different groups of characters doing different adventures, and then every once in a while bring them together.
Right.
Just so you know that they're in the same world, but they don't really have to interact with each other. If this does well. So I was reading just before we sat down here to record on Deadline, one of the major trades there.
Okay.
So this is tracking right now for a 30 to 40 million start domestically.
Okay.
And this is a $150 million production. Now it's getting really good word of mouth. Okay? That's the thing. Critics are loving it. Audiences are loving it. So it wasn't tracking very well, but if people hear that it's good, they might go check it out.
I'd say it also will be like something that people will watch a while from now. It'll be something that people will remember because it's the only we've never had a Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, we have.
Before. We have?
Yeah, it didn't do well.
I never even heard of it.
That's even in this article here.
What was the other one?
You don't remember that from the 90s?
No, dear. I was busy in the 90s.
Okay, here, I'll read it up.
It's
even in this article from Deadline. I'll put it up
didn't know there was one.
On the screen. The previous feature attempt with D&D didn't go so well under New Line with a 7.2 million domestic debut, 15.4 million stateside result, and near 34 million worldwide 23 years ago.
What was it called?
You don't remember that?
No.
Well,
I was in university studying and stuff. I didn't have time to go to movies very much.
Listen about this. That pick starred a number of fresh-faced actors and also included Jeremy Irons, Thora Birch, and Marlon Wayans. Yeah, because they were getting into movies around that time. This version of D&D touts Bridgerton, Regé-Jean Page, Chris Pine, Fast and Furious, Michelle Rodriguez. It's Sophia Lillis. That's where I learned it. And then I'm like, yeah, it was the girl. What was her name? Jessica or... something like that was the character name. Justice Smith and Hugh Grant. I don't remember what the first one was, but anyway, hopefully this one sounds like it's done properly, so... I don't think I ever saw it, but I've never heard anyone say anything good about it.
Oh, jeez. Well, I've never even heard of it, so... But I mean, I'm not a Dungeons and Dragons person. I played it once when I was like 7 years old.
It's from 2000. Ooh, 10%!
Must have been very
critic
bad.
Score on Rotten Tomatoes and a 20% audience score. Ouch. Yeah, I've never heard anyone say anything good about it.
Okay, well this is
so
a different
you didn't miss
movie.
Much.
Okay, this is a different movie. It sounds fun. I'm going to try to see it on the weekend. And you enjoyed it, and it's getting good ratings. So it's forget about that old one. We're moving on to better things by the sounds of it.
I quite enjoyed it. Let us know what you think. If you see Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves, whether it be this weekend or later on, I quite enjoyed it. I'd recommend it for people to take their families to go see it. It's a good time.
Okay.
Not it's not Shakespeare or anything. It's not the most amazing thing I've ever seen, but it's a really good time. So moving on. Oh yeah, so that means I give it a best movie ever.
Okay.
I might not go see it. I'm not going to go see it again, and probably isn't going to be a movie I'm going to buy. But I had a really fun time. I look back on it fondly.
Good.
Moving on to our next review, we got Star Wars: The Bad Batch, Season 2, Episode 15 and 16.
Yeah, it was like the finale.
Yeah, they released the last 2 episodes together there.
Spoiler on this. We keep on telling everyone what happens on this show.
Oh yeah, because we have to have something to talk about, and it's going on for weeks. We can't just say it's good every week. So, spoiler review for Star Wars: The Bad Batch.
The part 2, the first one, they're in big trouble because Saul Guerrero arrived and messed up their plans and blew up the place that they were trying to get information on, and they ended up stranded up in the air, and they lost one of their members, fell. Hold on. He's perhaps lost. I don't know. I think they got him.
The summit is where the Bad Batch, with Echo back now, they're trying to get information on this scientist.
Trying to find out where Crosshair is being hidden.
Dr. Hemlock.
And the other clones.
And so they plant a homing beacon on the ship. But unfortunately, Saw Gerrera is there, and he blows up the ship, so they don't get to track it to where it was going.
Yeah, as we know, Saw Gerrera doesn't listen to anybody and does whatever he wants.
Yeah, he's an extremist.
Has things, ruined in his way, and he's basically he's killed them essentially. But they do manage to get out, most of them.
Mm-hmm.
They lose Tech. He falls. And it doesn't look good. But later on, we see that this evil doctor, Hemlock, has his goggles and is saying that he died. But I have a feeling that no, they've got him right where they've got Crosshair. That's my assumption, that they've got Tech as well. But anyway, it was pretty bad for them. And then they go back to Sid's because they need medical attention. They've all been in a serious crash, and they get back, and then
she
Sid
sells them out.
Of course, we knew that she was going to do that.
She calls the Empire on them to get the bounty.
Wounded, and they can't defend themselves, and Echo is not involved. He doesn't get captured, but Hunter and Wrecker get captured, and Omega tries to save them, and they're trying to get her to get away, but instead she turns, and of course she gets captured too. So they've got Omega.
Yeah, but they escape.
Yeah. Well, Wrecker, Hunter, and Echo get away, but they've lost Tech, they lost Crosshair, and now they've lost Omega, and she has to go with creepy Dr. Hemlock and her old friend.
She doesn't have anything to do with Dr. Hemlock. He just got her to give to Nala Se.
Oh, yeah, it's not just that, though. She also has good stuff in her veins. They need her.
Yeah. And now
information.
And then she finds Crosshair.
Yeah, and we also find out that the evil scientist nurse or whoever it is that's been operating on Crosshair is actually one of them too, and she's Omega's sister.
Mm-hmm.
We find that out at the end of them. So it's very bad news. They've got half the Bad Batch is now captured by the creepy Dr. Hemlock and his hench lady.
And the Empire.
And the other half are pretty bummed up. They have no place really good to go. And anyway, they're going to go after them. So that should be, hopefully, our season 3 is the rescue of, I'm assuming, Tech. I'm assuming he's not dead. And Tech and Crosshair and Omega. So we will see how that works. They might start working on the inside about that. And then the other guys from the outside, hopefully they will rescue them and have more adventures. We shall see. Hopefully we get another season. Because it is up in the air now. They're basically gone hunting for them now.
Yeah, they
so
haven't
we'll
announced.
Have to see.
I think they're going to announce it at Star Wars Celebration.
Oh, well, that would definitely. They're definitely set up for a third season. They really got screwed up this time around.
Yeah.
Saul Guerrera basically screwed them over.
Well,
like he likes to do, it seems, to anybody else that he works with or is involved near.
According to the reception stuff that I found on Rotten Tomatoes, Wikipedia, it's getting good reception.
Well, it's a really fun show, and it's got a lot going on.
It's really for the hardcore Star Wars fans. I mean, there's so much references to everything.
I'm enjoying it. I didn't like a couple of the filler episodes. I still don't know why they bothered putting them in, because the rest of the content was so superior to some of those other episodes. But anyway,
what I'm saying is
fun.
This is for people who like multiple generations and of different movies as well as TV shows, because this stuff goes really deep. Okay, there's some deep cuts here.
It doesn't have to be deep either. Anybody can watch it.
Anyone can watch it.
I mean, I've just watched the material. I don't know. I don't have to be deep into it.
You've watched all the animated stuff. Okay?
Not all of it, but a lot of it.
Yeah, you watched all of Clone Wars and all of Rebels.
There's more animated stuff than that.
I don't mean about the old stuff.
No, they also have Droid Tales and other things. I haven't watched any of those things.
Yeah, those are meant for a younger audience there.
I haven't watched them all. I've just watched a couple. But anyway, it's enjoyable. It's a good series. And I hope it continues.
If for people who really enjoy the prequels, and there are lots of fans out there, okay, I enjoy them as well, certain parts of them.
Well,
and
I don't even know.
This really makes a lot of references to those things, and it makes a lot of references to Clone Wars as well as Rebels, but also to the original trilogy. It's just amazing storytelling. What they're doing with the camera angles and with the
you don't have to watch any of this stuff to watch the series either.
The score is great. No, you don't even have to have watched any Star Wars stuff. You could just jump in and start watching the Bad Batch.
It just helps, like, for example, you wouldn't know what Saw Gerrera is like until you see him in this episode.
No one knows who Saw Gerrera is.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we know because we've watched all this stuff.
Well, he's in Rogue One. We know that he's a crazy fella and he's a rebel and he's
it's only a hardcore
brutal
Star Wars fan that's going to remember Saw Gerrera from Rogue One. Just because we love it doesn't mean everyone else loves it.
I've just watched the movies. I don't like read the encyclopedias or anything
like you do. We even know why Saw Gerrera is such a fanatic.
Anyway,
we learned that in Clone Wars.
Anyway, you don't have to watch. Just enjoy watching it. You don't have to geek out and read the encyclopedias.
No, absolutely not.
There's no Silmarillion, but Gregory's.
You're catching up on those books. I'm saying the genius of this show. You just read the Silmarillion.
I said there is no Silmarillion for this, but you're reading all those Star Wars books. You don't need to read anything. You just enjoy the show and watch it.
Yeah, I'm working on it, and I'm still working on my Darth Plagueis book, which is from Legends. So it means it's not canonical. It's just old stuff that, it's like fan fiction. I'm going to talk about a Star Wars book in a bit.
It's been a good season. I didn't like a couple of the filler ones. I don't think they were necessary, but I still enjoyed it. I would
say kids can enjoy this. Would you say that kids could enjoy this show? I definitely think so.
It's not for younger kids. It's pretty scary.
Is it?
Yes. There's a lot of shooting and guns and
they've blasters and they're mostly shooting stun.
No. They've captured a mega. No. She sees people that she loves dying and
It's not as hardcore as your Harry Potter 2 movie that we watched.
No, but that's again not for younger kids. It's not really for.
I would say 8 and up easily could watch this show, but it's mostly gonna be parents watching this because this is definitely for the hardcore Star Wars fan.
10 and up.
But really, anyone could enjoy this. 8 and up, and you don't have to watch any Star Wars. That's the beauty of this show. It's so good for new audiences as well as for hardcore fans. Both can really enjoy this. It's a hard balancing act for storytellers to do that.
Well, it's too scary for younger kids. It's definitely too scary for younger kids.
I don't think so. I disagree with that.
Kids,
well,
they're shooting people.
Season 2 of the Bad Batch
and tortured. So no, it's not for little kids.
Season 2 of the Bad Batch, still best series ever. What rating would you give season 2 of the Bad Batch?
I give it probably a 92. I didn't like some of those filler episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was too many episodes. Maybe they didn't need those ones, right? They really didn't need those extra ones.
Nah, I like getting more. I'm okay with it.
Anyway, it was fun though.
We got a lot of filler episodes in Clone Wars. Remember those first 2 seasons?
But that's different. When you used to have a show that used to have 22 episodes or 24 episodes a season or something, you're going to get that. This one, we didn't need some of those filler ones because some of the episodes we got were so like deep and they were complete opposite of filler. So it was kind of like a big contrast there between some of the episodes. Anyway, I really enjoyed it. I think I liked the first season better because it was more consistent.
Okay.
It just seemed more. It didn't have those kind of filler things as much. But I still enjoyed it a lot. I'm enjoying the whole series as a whole, you know.
I'm loving it. I would rewatch the whole thing, seasons 1 and season 2 right now if I had the time, but I'm too busy watching.
Well, we'll have to do it when hopefully season 3 comes out. We'll get caught up and we'll watch them again.
I don't know. I'm just too busy right now because I'm watching Big Bang Theory. People seem to be enjoying our review of it last time. So
not everybody.
And that's one of those old shows. This was made in the old. I'll bring it up next time. But it was 24 episodes. Okay, a season starting in season 4.
24 episodes of everything. Anyway,
so we're gonna get to that hopefully on the next show. I'm gonna review that. So a little sneak peek for next episode. Overall, best series, you said it's 92% for you?
Yeah, I'd say for this. I'd give last season maybe a 94 and this was 92. Overall, it's got a 93 average. It's doing pretty good.
Okay. That's our thoughts on it. What do you think of Star Wars The Bad Batch? Are you enjoying this? Or are you just not really into it? Anyway, whatever you think of it, let us know your thoughts. And we'll read them out maybe. I definitely reply to all of them. What do we got next? We got Star Wars The Mandalorian, Season 3, Episode 5. I'll find out the name for you. Do you remember this episode, dear?
I enjoyed it. It's basically they're getting their tract of land that's not in a cave, and they're up above ground, and they rescue the town from pirates.
Yeah, it's called Chapter 21, The Pirate.
They rescue Navarro. Now, Navarro is a place where they used to live down in the sewers or hide in the sewers, and they actually fought against the magistrate at one point. But now
Yeah, that was season 1.
He asked for their help. And
Greef
he doesn't
Karga.
ask them for their help.
Carl Weathers, who plays
He
Greef
asked
Karga.
Mr. Kim for help.
Yeah, Mr. Kim is in this
He
episode.
goes and
He's back.
gets the Mandalorian, and all the Mandalorians join up. And they rescue Navarro, and now they have their piece of land. They can go live and prosper there. And but more meaningful, more importantly, is that Bo-Katan is asked to remove her helmet, and she does because
by the blacksmith.
Yes, because the blacksmith thought about more what she said because she has seen the mythosaur.
Mm-hmm.
And so she believes that was a sign, and Bo-Katan is off to go gather all the Mandalorians, helmet wearing and non-helmet wearing. I think most of them are non-helmet wearing.
Mm-hmm.
So she tells her to take off her, and she's going to go and find them all so they can. Well, I guess they'll start off on Navarro, and they're aiming for getting back Mandalore. I mean, it doesn't seem very inhabited, so I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem.
Did we say off the top it was spoiler? I don't remember.
Oh, sorry.
Okay,
It has
it's
to
definitely
be spoiler.
Christine spoiled everything
we have to
about
talk
it.
about it. I spoiled it. I'll have to put that on the show.
Remember to say that first, okay? When I edit this, I'll
But
put
you
it
know
up.
what? You know what I missed? We didn't see the little pterodactyls.
No, we didn't.
No,
we
didn't
saw
get
the
to see
half
them.
statue of
Oh yeah,
IG.
not 88.
IG-11.
IG-11 maybe, yeah. But we don't see the little pterodactyls. I was hoping we would see them doing their training somehow, but maybe we'll see them next season. Anyway, it was real fun. It was a great episode. This is the way.
Yeah, we're right. It was IG-11.
Yeah. It was fun. So I definitely am loving this show. I recommend you watch it. The Baby Yoda didn't do that much in this episode. He did a lot in the last one.
Did you notice this episode was different from the previous in the sense that it was all just the main storyline the whole episode? They didn't cut away to show another character or to show a flashback
it was all
with Jedi Master Kalaran Beck. Man, that guy's in the media a lot right now. People are loving that.
Well, what we do
Ahmed Best is
we do see Mr.
getting some props.
Mr. Kim.
Yeah, Mr. Kim shows up as flying his X-wing.
That Moff Gideon has escaped. We kind of knew this already, But he
We haven't
actually,
seen Moff
No,
Gideon.
we are suspecting that he's got away and he's planning something. It's been aiming to that the whole time, and Mr. Kim finds his prison shuttle. And
Did you
it's
talk
been
about the
blown up.
Moss pirate already?
No, I just said pirates. I
So
didn't give it all away.
that Moss pirate is ridiculous. We saw it previously.
Kind of reminds me of something
there's
from those pirates in Pirates of the Caribbean that were taken over by all the algae and all the, the ones that.
Oh yeah, and they had to serve on Davy Jones's
Davy
ship.
Jones is like in the that.
But they were like sea monsters. This was just a moss creature. Looked like a Muppet covered in moss.
Anyway, it was fun.
Or he looked like Grimace covered in moss. This disgusting moss, and his mouth was just flapping like Grimace.
And I love the little tiny, what are those little tiny guys? The guys that fix things. They're all celebrating in the end. I forget what they're called. Those cute little fellas. They were all excited. They were in it too.
Was Babu Frank was one of them?
Yeah. What are those little? I don't know what they're called. Those little creatures.
I don't know what they are.
Anyway, they were in it. It was cute. Anyway, they were kind of the cute factor. Baby Yoda didn't do very much in this one. But,
no, he was barely in it.
They were in there, so that was the cuteness factor. We have to have cuteness.
There was a lot of sky fighting with Din Djarin and Bo-Katan.
I guess.
And then lots of fighting with the entire Mandalorian Creed.
Yeah.
That one sect of the Mandalorians there with the blacksmith.
Right.
And Din Djarin there. So
it was fun. I don't really care for the flying or the fighting, but I enjoyed the story and the little creatures.
Sounds like there's going to be a lot of stuff going on with Bo-Katan for the rest of this season, or possibly leading into the next season.
For sure,
they could have even ended it on this. They could have ended the season with this. It was a big spectacle climax.
They've been really fun. The episodes have been big. There's been lots going on. They've been quite epic.
Notice how Boba Fett didn't show up?
No, he didn't
should they bring him back because he's a Mandalorian? Should he be with all of them too? Or should he hang out on Tatooine?
He's not technically a Mandalorian.
He says he is.
I don't think he really is.
He could just be one of the ones that was following Bo-Katan.
I don't know. He seems to be just using the armor.
Because he
seemed to be a Mandalorian.
Didn't he say he was a Mandalorian back in season 2 or 1
I thought he was just using the armor. But I don't know.
I thought he said it back in previous seasons.
You'll look it up for next time.
Do you think he's still hanging out with the Mos Espa Vespa gang there on Tatooine?
I don't want to see him. I don't care.
You guys know what I'm talking about? The Mos Espa Vespa gang?
I like the
it's
parts
hilarious.
Where
Check it out. Check out Book of Boba Fett.
I like the parts where he was learning from the desert people and that kind of stuff.
The sand people?
Yeah, the sand people. I did enjoy that, although it was slow. But when he started chasing these teenagers,
I remember that first episode was really slow.
They were slow, but I still enjoyed it. Then it went downhill after that. Anyway, no, I don't know about him, but
they kind of made Boba Fett into a cartoon character, wouldn't you say? He was like a dumb cartoon character.
That one episode was very poor. Anyway, let's not talk about that show. This show is good. It's fun, and this season is very epic, and it's really I'm excited to watch every Wednesday when it comes on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's my take on it.
It was pretty cool how they took out those pirates.
There you go.
So, I mean, it was a lot of fun.
It was.
I really enjoyed it, and the fact that he's going around in a zooped up Naboo fighter doesn't bother me at all. They got rid of all the yellow. They kind of stripped all that down. Now it's all just stainless steel.
I don't care about the ships. You care.
All the other Nubian ships are just like glistening stainless steel. Yeah. Why are their fighters yellow?
I don't know. I don't care. Anyway.
His looks more Nubian than theyrs did.
I don't know. It's not my thing. I don't get into the ships. I just watch it and enjoy it.
I'm still really enjoying this. They got out of the planet with all the monsters.
Well, I don't know. I was worried Mr. Kim's ship was going to get swallowed whole because he parked too close to the water. They really should move to a safer place.
Grief Karga, Carl Weathers asked for help, and Din Djarin convinced his sect of the Mandalorians to go, and that way he got a whole bunch of land for them. So now they got off there, and now they're on a volcanic planet instead. But at least they're not getting attacked daily by giant monsters.
We
I'd say
haven't
that's
seen the move yet.
the pirates really trashed Navarro. It kind of sucked. Because
Oh,
they had
well,
really
that's
built
what
it up. It was
pirates
quite
do.
nice.
That, again, they really remind me of the pirates on Pirates of the Caribbean. That whole gang of them reminded me of those guys. Anyway.
Most of them were just
was
aliens.
It was fun. So, what are we talking about? What are we going to talk about
I had
next?
a great time with this episode of The Pirates. And, man, if you're not watching it, you guys want to get on board because this show is amazing.
I
mean, all 3 seasons are great.
Yeah.
Are you watching Star Wars The Mandalorian? What'd you think about it? You know, if you enjoyed this, our review, our thoughts, give us a like on that. And let us know what you think of Star Wars The Mandalorian down in the comments below. I've been responding to all the stuff that we get, but we're not getting that much. Moving on to our next review. Oh, one last thing on Star Wars there. So remember we saw the scientist a few episodes back and he was in Monument Plaza where they saw the top of the mountain?
Oh, yeah, that was
on Coruscant?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you went to touch it. And
this was mentioned in this book that I read a while back, Light of the Jedi. So I marked it. I'm saying that because this is part of canon. It was actually also mentioned in my other book that I'm reading right now, Darth Plagueis, but it was called something different. So it's Monument Plaza, and it's like
the only piece of land
people from all over the Republic came to see Monument Plaza to see Umate. Apparently that's the name of that mountain, or Umati. I don't know. Basically,
the city has grown over the mountains, and there's one little place you can actually see the mountain because you're all above it. It's similar to St. John's being built on all those rocks. Like there's buildings that have little crawl spaces with a giant rock inside. Mm-hmm. Similar thing. But we don't have to go too far to touch the rock here.
Sounds cool, but it's not. It's pretty crappy environment. So I just wanted to mention that thing about Star Wars before we jump into our next review.
Okay, what's our next review?
Star Trek Picard, Season 3, Episode 7. Okay. Do you know what it was called?
I think it's called Dominion.
Yes, I think you're right,
It's not about the Dominion, though. Okay, spoilers, because you're not watching
spoiler review.
Yeah, it's not about those guys that drank the Tetrasil White or anything like that, or the Vorta. They're not in it.
You are absolutely correct.
It's only the shapeshifters.
It's called Dominion. Tell us all about it. Spoil it for me. What's
happening
happening with LeVar Burton?
Last week, I wasn't pleased with the episode. I was interrupted like 18 times trying to watch it. So I did watch it again, and I still didn't like it. Mm-hmm. I don't care for the way that they're portraying LeVar Burton and the things that he's doing, and he doesn't want to help them. He says it's going to kill his family, and it's just weird. I don't like the whole storyline with him at all. I think it's not really Geordi. Geordi's always enthusiastic. He's an eager beaver and wants to like fix things and help people and stuff. This Geordi doesn't seem to be the Geordi that we know. So I'm not that pleased with the way that they're having Geordi and his second daughter that is with him.
Why is he so negative now?
He says that he's worried that they're going to that his daughters are going to die because his daughter's been on the ship with Picard this whole time. Mm-hmm. And he's arguing with his daughter. I don't know. And the other daughter acts like she's 16 and she says really stupid things. It's following him around. Mm-hmm. And she's supposed to be in Starfleet. But she calls him dad. It's just not the way that you would act. I just think it's really poor writing. Okay. With the whole Geordi thing and his family and the things that his daughter is saying, the second daughter. Anyway, I just think it's a bit much. And they're still not caring that much about Riker.
Why not?
I don't know. They're so worried about Data.
What happened to Riker?
He got kidnapped by these evil people. He could be dead as far as they know.
First I'm hearing of it.
That's what happened in the last episode. They seem not to really care about it that much. They were just all focused on putting Data back together. And basically in this episode, this also makes him upset. It's basically like Geordi makes a mistake and somehow lets Lore take over the whole ship, which he would not do.
No, that's pretty much every episode of Star Trek.
Yeah, but it's just bad writing. And they let the bad guys get on the ship. That's their plan, to let the bad guys get on the ship.
But that's Star Trek.
I think it's
the thing is they get really good opponents who take them over, but then the Star Trek crew comes back.
No, that was their plan to let them on.
Why?
It was just a bad plan. Like, anyone could say it was a bad plan.
But that is
Anyway,
what happened in
And
Star
they're
Trek
very
all the time.
They don't know anything much about these changelings, and they let them all on their ship.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna trap them between some force fields. Was the plan?
Ray shields.
Yeah,
That's what they called them in Star Wars. Ray
But
shields.
then of course, Allure comes over and frigs it all up and takes the ship over, and the bad guys get out, and now we're seeing a new power that Picard's son has. I don't know what's going on with the son. The changelings want him. They say they want to take him home. We don't know. This is the whole thing. They're trying to catch him. And now he can telepathically talk to people. And they can hear him and perhaps talk back because his eyes glow red.
Wait,
so I don't know
who can
what the
telepathically
heck.
talk to them?
Picard's son. He's now like a betazoid, but his eyes glow red. Now, if Picard and Deanna Troi had a kid, that might make sense.
Is
It's
Dr.
a lot.
Crusher Bajoran now?
Not Bajoran. No.
Okay.
You're in the wrong
Betazoid.
space. Betazoid. You're in the wrong species.
Yeah.
No!
Bajorans are in
So,
Star
all
Trek,
of a
though. They're
sudden
the
now
ones with the
he
pointy
can-
noses.
His eyes can... I don't know what's going on with him. They want him. We don't know why they want him. And they're very confident. But what we do see in this past episode, something new, is that this creature it's like... This creature is like on the changelings. It's like part of her. The main lady that's after them is a changeling, I guess. And she has a creature that can come out of her hands and talk to her and order her around. And he can torture her sometimes. He's basically like... It sounds like he's threatening all the changelings. Like, if they don't get Picard's son and do what he wants, they're all gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
He seems to be threatening the changelings, I do believe.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know who this guy is or what he is, or... It's still a lot of confusion. And why they want the son. And now the son can talk to you, but his eyes glow red, and he can read your mind, and then you can read his
Is
mind.
he a cyborg?
No, he seems to be part changeling, maybe. I don't know.
You know what? I can
don't know
explain
what's-
this. I can explain this
okay.
using other franchises. He's a mutant. He
Yeah.
He just developed his mutant ability. He's
They
probably in
want him for
puberty
some
right
reason.
now. So he just
And-
developed his mutant ability, and that is he's a telepath with
I don't
glowing
know.
red eyes. There you go. Problem
Maybe
solved.
when he was a kid, once he asked a stranger for a popsicle, and they gave him a poison popsicle with changeling on it. I don't know. They've been wanting him forever.
Hmm.
They've been looking for him, and since he was a kid, apparently they've been looking for him. I don't know.
So
It's a lot. But
So
we see
LeVar
Tuvok. We see Tuvok in this episode.
oh my goodness.
There you go.
Mr. Personality himself.
But
Mr.
he has
Tuvok.
personality, because guess what?
Really?
He's evil Tuvok.
He's evil Tuvok.
He's evil Tuvok.
Why is he evil?
Because he's not Tuvok. He's a changeling.
Oh.
And Seven's able to trap
That's the
him
only
into...
time Tuvok was ever
Trap-
interested.
Yeah, and he has an evil face, and she thinks he has Tuvok captured. And they keep on talking about Admiral Janeway,
So
but
they
we
actually
haven't seen her.
They actually brought back Tuvok.
Oh yeah, he's on there.
Nice.
He's like talking to Seven. They're asking him for help, and she's trying to test him on things, right?
Is he the first Voyager crew besides Seven to appear in this show?
Yeah.
They never showed anything else. They didn't show
No.
Tom Paris.
We haven't seen anyone, but I think Janeway's going to be on it. They keep on talking about her. They've mentioned her quite a few times.
What about the main man, Chakotay?
No,
He's not. They're not talking about him.
no, they're only talking about Janeway, and they never talked about Tuvok. But she's basically she's the only one asked about Riker. She's asking Tuvok if he knows where Riker is.
Seven is.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's not really Tuvok, and they're not really caring that he could be dead. Like,
This doesn't
they
make
don't
any
seem
sense.
to care that
Are they
much.
talking about straight A student Harry Kim?
No, they're not talking about any other Voyager people because we like to forget them all. Anyway.
What about Miss Popularity, B'Elanna Torres?
No, they're only talking about Janeway. Anyway, we will see. So
What about the space elf, Cass? Are they
no,
talking
she
about her?
left Voyager.
I know she left. I'm just wondering
I
if
think
they're still
she's
talking
dead.
about
No,
her.
she's dead now.
Because they only live for like 3 years or something.
Mm,
I don't know.
7, 9 years. I don't know. Anyway,
So
no, but Tuvok's on
Riker's
it.
kidnapped.
Well, could
No,
be dead. They
Riker's
have no
kidnapped.
idea.
The only
They
one
left him
cares who's
behind.
7, but she's talking to evil Tuvok.
Yeah.
Okay. Meanwhile, the rest of the TNG crew is out looking for who?
Nobody.
Then what are they doing?
They're like running, and they let the bad.
They're running away from this crazy woman who's after his son.
And then they left them all on the ship.
And his son has now become a mutant, so he could join the X-Men. This is a crazy show.
They let them on the ship. And think that their ray shields or whatever are going to help this.
They don't actually call them ray shields in Star Trek.
They don't really call them much right. Anyway.
That's only in Star Wars.
And
here.
Picard's son is falling in love with Geordi's daughter, the one that we've seen all along. He has 2 daughters, not the one that says stupid things. That actress must feel really bad. She got like a role in Star Trek and she has to say the
Isn't that his daughter?
Things. His real daughter?
Yeah, isn't his real daughter in it?
I don't know. He has 2 daughters in the show. I didn't know it was his real daughter.
No, I think his real daughter's in it.
One of the daughters has been on the show since the beginning, and she has normal things to say, and Picard's son is starting to fall for her, but the other daughter is saying stupid things. The writing is poor, and someone actually mentioned someone walking on concrete in this episode. Now, they're not going to have concrete on space stations in the future. I'm sorry. They're just not going to have concrete. Anyway, I thought
what
that
would they
was
have?
lame. A poured floor. I don't know. They won't have cement, concrete. They're not going to have concrete, cement floors. Anyway, it was just stupid.
They're going to have something futuristic. It's going to be future concrete.
They mentioned something like that. I just think the writing...
They could have just called it future concrete.
The writing is... Yeah. There's some bad parts to it. Anyway, I enjoy it.
Is there more
and
swearing?
I don't enjoy it. No, I don't know. I don't think so.
Did LeVar Burton swear?
Not that I realized.
Oh, what about evil Tuvok? He'd be swearing, right?
The only one that's supposed to swear is Riker. He's the only one really.
He's the Boy Scout.
No, Riker always in his older days he swears sometimes. Anyway.
Because he's an angry old man.
Yes, and he has like perfect pitch. You can tell each note. As soon as he hears a note, he can tell what note it is.
Yes, you were talking about him singing. Did you enjoy that?
No. Anyway.
Then why are you so concerned about Riker?
It just doesn't make sense. They should be focusing their efforts on getting Riker back.
I think you're stressed out about Riker's character because he's your favorite character. Okay?
Anyway,
why else would you be so upset about this?
And also, there's like nobody on the ship. It's supposed to be a ship full of people. There's like nobody there. There's like Sun keeps on walking down these empty hallways. Like they can't have other actors just filler actors. There's like a couple of people we see on the bridge, but the only people we mostly see are these characters that we already know.
What ship?
The ship that they're on. Yeah, the Titan.
The Titan.
It has a full crew.
How many crew members?
I don't know. There's quite a few of them. There's supposed to be like 100 of them or something. And they're always these empty hallways, and it's only these couple characters that we ever see.
Is it a really big ship?
It's a normal ship. Anyway, it's kind of weird that way. It's kind of, I don't know, because of COVID, they didn't have any other actors in. I don't know. But it doesn't look like a normal, like in Star Trek, people walking down the halls, there's always someone coming past them.
It probably would have, because effects for this show would take a while.
There's not enough people on the ship. Anyway.
It's probably COVID restrictions, I'm guessing.
It's a bit, anyway, we know what's going to, and the other thing is, we know what's going to happen, but I don't know, they haven't done it yet. It's a I don't know if it's an ode to or a copycat of Battlestar Galactica. Because the whole idea is that all these new ships, as they said, can all communicate with one another and ping one another and communicate with another.
The Federation ships?
Yeah.
Why?
But they can. They have them all wired together. They've mentioned this. And of course the changelings are all on all those ships.
It's future technology.
Yeah, but the ships that they got at the museum there, they don't do that.
Yeah, Voyager and that. Yeah, that ship would be busted up.
Yeah, so they should be taking one of those. And at the museum, it's a complete. That's a thing about that's Battlestar Galactica right there, right? Because Battlestar Galactica was being turned into a museum, and
take your word for it. I never got into Battlestar Galactica.
It was the only ship that wasn't programmed with all the others. That's what happened to all the other ships. They all were destroyed because they were all connected, and the virus destroyed them all, right? Whereas Battlestar Galactica was so old, it wasn't part of that network, and that's why it was able to survive. Okay. So I think that could be happening. I don't know. They talked about it last episode, but then they didn't take one of the ships. But then this is this thing about this show being poor. So Geordi's daughter and Picard's son go onto the warbird, steal the cloaking device and install it themselves without telling anybody. They can't do that. Like, they wouldn't be able to do that.
Well, are they Starfleet?
Well, she is. He's not, and she's a navigator.
But
Anyway.
aren't Starfleet officers always going rogue?
It doesn't make
Every
sense.
every time there's a corrupt admiral, they have to go
like,
rogue
why
to bring
couldn't
them down.
they get like someone to do it? I don't know. It's just strange stuff like that. Like, there's only got 2 people that can do everything. They have a whole ship full of people. It's just a bit like
Maybe
lame.
they're tired.
Anyway, it's a bit lame, and they're not doing it right because, of course, they don't know what they're doing.
Maybe they didn't
But
get a good crew, and the rest of their crew is
they run-
useless. Kind of like on Voyager.
It's just, if they said there was only 10 of them on the ship, it would make more sense.
So,
Okay, it's just a bit lame.
End of the day, you're not enjoying this show.
It's getting worse.
It's getting worse.
Yeah, the past 2 episodes have soured me quite a bit. This explanation is better be good about the son and what's going on with him, because it's getting a bit like Shyamalan.
Or is this?
Like,
Or is
it's
it becoming
building
lost?
and building and building? Yeah, it's building and building and building, and there is a smoke monster almost. Anyway, we'll have to see.
Doesn't sound like you're
it's not
enjoying
as
this show.
charming. I enjoyed the first few episodes. I really thought they were good, but it's building up to something I don't think it can live up to.
Why? Okay.
Yeah.
Why do you keep watching this when you're clear?
I
It's
enjoy
clearly upsetting
But the
you.
past 2
This
episodes
is you enjoying it?
got me not enjoying it as much.
Doesn't
they gotta
sound like
see-
you're enjoying
They got
it.
to explain why his son has all these powers and why they want him and everything. We still don't know.
I just said he's a mutant.
Okay. He is a mutant, that's for sure. We know that. But anyway, we'll have to see. But I think it was a charming show, and I think they've just sort of, I don't know, it seems not the greatest.
Well, there's still 3 more episodes because it's got 10 episodes according to
Okay.
Wikipedia here. So, are you gonna watch the next 3?
Oh, I'm definitely going to watch
Yeah.
them, and I hope they
Are
can
you-
redeem themselves.
Sounds like you're gonna hate watch them,
Oh,
like
I
you
hated
hate
watching
watch Discovery.
Yeah, the past 2 remind me Discovery-wise. They're like taking tried and true things and morphing them and twisting them in a way that
Yeah.
I don't approve. Christine does not approve.
Okay. I don't know what the ratings
Anyway.
are for this show, but you kind of sound like an old crank.
I
a
am,
bit.
I guess. I just have the last 2 episodes have put me wrong, put me sour on it. But I'm going to continue watching. I hope it can redeem itself and get past these weird
Okay.
things that are happening.
I have no opinion on this. If I hear anything, if I find out anything on the ratings or that, I'll let you know and bring it up here. That's Christine's thoughts on Star Trek Picard Season 3, Episode 7. That was called
The Dominion, or
Dominion. Just called Dominion.
Yeah.
Are you watching Star Trek Picard or any of the other Star Trek shows? Let us know down in the comments below, please. You know, this is a perfect segue into our favorite segment of Chakotay's Odyssey, featuring the adventures of Janeway.
What's your favorite?
So, I did continue to watch this show.
Yes.
What am I up to now?
Was there any good ones? If there's any good one, tell me and I'll watch it.
I told you which one was good. Episode 8, Ex Post Facto.
Okay.
So that was the one where Tom Paris was framed for a murder.
Oh,
And Tuvok
okay.
was almost interesting
Oh.
and because he was the sleuth who had to solve it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, this one and then last one was about the dead people from the other dimension and them ruining a whole religious belief of this alien
Oh, yeah,
society.
yeah.
This one was called Prime Factors, episode 10 of season 1. Prime Factors. So get this, this one's great. This one's great. So they're heading for a planet now because they hear, Neelix says that he's never met them, but they've got legendary hospitality. He's heard stories
Okay.
about their legendary hospitality. So they go there and they want to trade for parts. I guess
Okay.
trade for stuff. They're like, we gotta have something we can trade, right? So they can get other things there. So these people come out, and this alien race, which look exactly like humans,
Right.
they're kind of just a bunch of whores. So they come out and they're like, we're so glad to see you. We sent you a distress call. And Janeway's like, why are you sending us a distress call? What's the distress? And they're like, no, you're in distress, okay? Come on in, have a good time, right?
It's like Ryza.
More so, they're more welcoming. Okay? They're just like, come on in. It's not a nude planet, though. Isn't
Okay.
Ryza a nude planet?
Well, it can be, I suppose. not
That's
all
that
nude.
vacation planet.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay? No, these people are just like, yeah, come on in, and they're being so friendly and helping them with stuff, and they just want to come and spend time with them and hear stories. So, but the episode starts off with Gossip Girl, B'Elanna Torres. They're all in the canteen, right? They're all in the mess hall, and she's gossiping with the other Maquis lady. Is it the Bajoran?
I don't know.
The ones with the pointy noses. Yeah. So she's and she's one of the Maquis.
The earring. That's a Bajoran, and they have a little.
I haven't seen the earring. Anyway, she's a Bajoran, and they're both ex-Maquis, I guess. But they're just gossiping about who's sleeping with who.
Okay.
And then it goes
doesn't
over.
Seem like a thing that character would do, but anyway.
Yeah, it's out of character, but I guess
she's a very angry Klingon.
She's always angry there, but now she's into all the gossip there on the ship.
Okay.
And then Paris.
It's Harry Kim that's usually doing the gossip.
And ladies man Harry Kim are having lunch there as well. So then they get them involved in their conversation.
Yeah.
And they're talking and they're bragging about what they're like dating these sisters on the holodeck or something.
Those sisters. They had mentioned that before.
And that Harry Kim was going off with one of them by himself. And they're like, oh, we want details. And he tells them apparently what happened is they were in Italy and he fell in the water.
That would be it.
Okay? It must have been in Venice or something.
So classy.
So, yeah, he's getting all the ladies. So now they go to this planet and they're all having a good time. The main guy, he's hitting on Janeway like it's going out of style, okay? And she's all for it.
She is?
Yeah, she is. She's like, yeah, let's go have fun. Let's go on vacation. Everyone's on shore leave all the time.
Man?
Yeah. So
she has a husband / or partner at home with her dog.
That's 75 years away, right? So she's all for this. Meanwhile, ladies man Harry Kim is hanging out with this alien woman.
Yes.
And
who looks completely human.
And all she wants to do, except they have these rings around their head that looks like they're just bunched into the bun in the back of their hair. Because everyone has their hair slicked back into a bun, even the men.
Okay, man.
And then they got these rings sticking out of it. It's almost
maybe they started the trend of man buns.
I don't know, but everyone has this on this planet. So this woman's interested in Harry Kim, and so what does he do? He starts
in the water.
No, he doesn't. He starts obsessing over this technology. Because he's feeling down because he's missing his family. She's trying to cheer him up, and he's clearly not getting it.
He's looking at the tricorders?
No, he's just sitting there. I'm so sad. I miss my family, So far from home, Oh, sorry, that's
mine. He's not doing very good with the ladies.
No, he definitely is not. So what she does to cheer him up is takes him on this teleporting pad, and it teleports them really far away to another planet. Wow. And it's like 5,000 light years or something, which is really far. So he's like, wait a minute, we're on what planet? That's still really far away, right?
Yeah, so he wants that technology.
So he's like, I want this technology so I can just use this to get back home to the Alpha Quadrant. Okay, we'll just beam really far away and then beam again and just keep doing it. Yeah. So
but they don't get the technology.
He kind of breaks the spell of this. They're supposed to be entranced with these people because they want to experience new people all the time. Like I said, they're just whores.
Just go home.
So instead, they're like, no, we got to get this technology. So then the whole crew is like, we got to get this. And so they decide they're gonna trade for it. Okay?
They should have traded Harry Kim for it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That they're gonna trade for it. But
what did they give? Or Neelix. They should have given them Neelix.
The alien people won't trade them for it. They're being dicks about it. But there's some people like undercover doing Black Ops work that are willing to trade for it. Okay. They're trading them stories, from the ship's database. Just stories. That's what they're so interested in.
So do they get the technology or is it buggy?
So here's what happens is they're not allowed to do it. For some dumb reason. Prime directive or something.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, it didn't make much sense. So what happens is B'Elanna and the two other engineers, the one Bajoran and the other guy that she competed with to get the chief engineer job, the three of them conspire to do it, and who finds them out? Mr. Interesting Tuvok himself.
Oh no, he's
So-
their security officer.
Yeah, he is
so
head
that does
security,
make
and he's
sense.
also boring. Also, but here's what he does. He's like, no, give it to me. I'm going to make the exchange. And he
Oh.
goes and does it. And you're thinking, why is he doing this?
But they don't end up getting the technology, right?
Well, they do. And what happens is B'Elanna disregards orders from the captain to take them out of orbit. Instead, she's like, no, we're going to make this work right now. Okay? Because if they leave orbit of this planet, it won't work. It has something to do with, radio waves or something. Space science
You're bad
around their
science
planet.
again.
So
Okay.
they hook it up to the warp core and they almost blow up the ship.
Right. Because they're not good at science.
No, apparently not, except for when they're in a battle.
Yeah, see, Tuvok should be their science officer.
So
not the
it
security
doesn't work
officer.
on their ship, even though they went against orders to do this.
Okay.
So Captain Janeway is really pissed off at them,
Right.
and now she's really pissed off at Tuvok
Oh.
because,
Well.
and he tries to explain his actions away with logic. He's like,
Right.
I only
he
did
does
it.
have logic.
He's like, I only did it, Captain, because your principles wouldn't allow you to make this trade, and the whole crew wants to get back home. That's a continuous theme. People are getting sad and depressed, and they want to get
Right.
home. So he's like, I did it for you because I knew you wouldn't allow yourself to, but you wanted to do it for your crew. And she's like, what kind of BS is that?
That is. That
You're
was
using
not a character
You're
for
essentially
Tuvok.
using logic to explain whatever you want, and she calls him out on it.
Yeah.
And so, end of the day, she's pissed off at him. What is she gonna do? Fire all of them? She
But-
needs them.
That's all out of character for Tuvok as well. Tom Paris, the criminal, should have done it.
Yeah.
That would make more sense.
That
anyway,
would make more
that doesn't.
sense.
Two out of character things going on with Torres.
Would make more sense
And
if
with
Chakotay
Tuvok.
did it as well.
Yeah.
Okay, but I get
I
that.
don't know. Anyway, bad science, weird characters.
So that was another exciting episode
Okay.
of Chakotay's Odyssey, featuring the
fabulous.
adventures of Janeway. I hope you realize that I've been getting different images of Voyager for each episode that we
isn't
do.
that exciting? You should get the one from the Space Museum from Picard. I know people did really enjoy that. And when they went into the section 31, they actually have, it looks like they have a Kirk skeleton.
Really?
Yeah.
They dug it up from
well,
that planet from
they
Star
show,
Trek
like,
7?
They show like these little
Yeah, 7.
vaults when they're going to, this was in the last episode, and they have, it says James T. Kirk, and it shows a skeleton, and they have the Genesis B device or something. Genesis device.
From Star Trek 2?
Yeah. So that's kind of cool. Anyway.
That's all just member berries, though.
Yeah, I know. That was in there. And they have all the ships. They had the Defiant, they had the Voyager, they had all kinds of different ships.
I mean, are they going to have the torpedo case that they shot Spock out in onto the Genesis planet as well?
no,
they got
this Genesis B or something. Anyway, that was cute.
It's like, here's
They have a lot
Shatner's,
of old
here's
captains.
Shatner's toupee from this
It's like,
movie.
well, geez, they have like Picard's body, and now they have Shatner's body. Like, what the heck is this place? Like a tomb? I don't know.
Maybe it's
Anyway.
like the Russians, because, they still have Lenin preserved there, and
Yes.
they're preserving their leaders.
They have like anyway.
They
I
just
don't
keep
know.
dead bodies, so they're keeping, a headless body from Picard?
They got the whole body.
So he's been completely put into an android body then.
Oh yeah, he's completely an android now, but a synthoid or something.
I
but...
thought it was just his head. I don't know why I had that.
No. This is not an android. He's not an android. It's a new technology. It's like a synth.
Why are we still talking about Star Trek?
Anyway,
Picard? You did your review.
We were just talking about, they had a picture, you were talking about the pictures of the ships. They had all the different ships.
We got to get into our last review.
Okay, get into your last review.
Okay. So, next we're coming into our new segment, which we are calling Into the DCEU. And this is where we're going to review all of the DC Extended Universe properties. Now, you had a great idea, and that was to explain the difference between DC and Marvel, because maybe not everyone knows this, right?
What do they stand for and what are they? Because people do not know.
DC?
You have to go from the basics, yes.
DC stands for Detective Comics,
Yeah.
because that company, DC Comics, was named after Detective Comics, which was their most popular comic that they were selling back in the 40s, because it used to be under a different company, and when they reformed it, they named it after Detective Comics, which is Batman's title.
So basically, two separate companies that
Yeah,
wrote
Marvel.
two separate entities of like all different. Like the Marvel entities are completely separate from the DC. They're two separate companies.
Yeah.
It's like two different television channels.
The characters don't really meet.
No, they're independent.
Marvel. We're always
another.
talking about the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's your Guardians of the Galaxy. That's your Iron Man, your Captain America, the Hulk, the Avengers. It also includes Black Widow, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, Vision, Thor, Spider-Man, Scarlet Witch, Doctor Strange, Falcon, Winter Soldier. Those are the characters that make up it. Those are the Avengers
and
characters. Plus, Black Panther, Wakanda's there. Plus, later on, we're going to get the X-Men. So all the mutants are going to be in that world too. So you're going to see like Wolverine and Deadpool, because we're getting a Deadpool movie next year.
I like Wolverine and Deadpool, but some of the X-Men stuff. Oh.
We're looking forward to Deadpool 3. It's probably not coming out for a couple of years. But then we got DC. So DC Extended Universe is all the DC characters. Those are the older characters. You got your Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, Cyborg, Robin, who goes along with Batman, plus a bunch of other of those Batman characters. Black Adam, Shazam. I mentioned the Flash. Aquaman.
Oh yeah, Aquaman.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's also where you get Harley Quinn and the Joker, because they're Batman villains.
Yeah. Penguin.
Yeah.
Riddler, all those ones.
Yeah, they always say when it comes to super villains, if it ain't Batman or Spider-Man, don't worry about it, because they got the best rogues galleries. And Spider-Man is Marvel and Batman is DC.
Now,
so we're starting
to people one other thing you need to explain to people. The different versions of the characters.
Oh yeah, jeez.
That's something that is very confused me at first.
Yeah, sometimes they'll get alternate versions of characters.
Yes.
Sometimes it could just be something as simple as a derivative character, where you got Hulk and you get She-Hulk, right? So it's a derivative character. That's not the same. But alternate versions of the same character are usually ones from other dimensions, or sometimes they could be evil clones, because it's all comic book wackiness.
The worst for that is Spider-Man. Explain to people Spider-Man and all his many. I still don't understand how.
But we're talking about DC.
No, but people don't understand. You have a movie and it's about, like, say, Superman. We're seeing the Superman. We saw the Superman. Now we see a Superman. It's a completely different Superman. That's what people don't understand. Explain that to people.
Oh, well, it's kind of like James Bond in that way. Okay, so they just recast and they kind of just redo the continuity, right?
It's not the same story, though, for every time.
No. So the Christopher Reeve Superman, which a lot of people, including myself, grew up on, is different from the Henry Cavill Superman that we're going to be talking about today, right? And Christian Bale's Batman is different than Ben Affleck's Batman that is in the DCEU. That's a separate world, right?
Yes, but
you can almost think of it as a separate dimension.
Like the comic books, you have a series that's about, say, Batman, and that's one series. But then you can have another series running parallel that's about
a completely different Batman.
Yeah. So that's what also.
Sometimes those are alternate timelines. Yes. Sometimes they're alternate dimensions.
Different series.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a comic that starts from A, goes to A to Z, but it's a whole different person. And you have another one parallel to that. That's the same.
Yeah, so
that's what also confuses people.
You can have classic Batman, but you can also have Batman Beyond, which is in the future, in an alternate future, where Bruce Wayne is no longer Batman. And so now there's another guy, what's his name, Terry McGinnis, who's he's Batman Beyond.
Right. The thing is, you can't be writing the same story for like 80 years. So.
Anyway, let's focus on DC.
Anyway, I just want to have you explain that to people, because they don't know that. Because most people do not read comic books.
No, fair enough. Yeah. So the DCEU movies, they're not connected to the Christopher Reeve Superman, the Christopher Nolan Batman movies, or any of the Tim Burton, Michael Keaton Batman movies. Not connected to any of that. They're starting fresh and they're going again. It's a reboot, right?
Right.
So it starts off in 2013 with Man of Steel, which we have varying opinions on it. Would you like to go first? Or would you like me to
You
start?
go first and talk about,
Okay.
gush about it.
I really enjoy this movie. It's one of my favorites of the DCEU. It's very different from Christopher Reeve's Superman. Those movies were fun and uplifting, and this is why I find a lot of general audiences don't like this Man of Steel movie, is because this movie, it has a lot of dour and sad moments, but then it goes into, it's really uplifting, and it's like you feel good, and there's hope, because it's Superman, right? In fact, that's what the S on his chest stands for. It's Kryptonian, it stands for hope. So he's supposed to be hopeful. Problem is this Superman isn't a lot of fun, right? It's dark and and dour, and then there's some great action scenes in it. Some of my favorites parts in this movie are the Smallville fight scene and the Metropolis fight scene with Zod at the end. And the other part that I really enjoy is the first flight, when Superman first flies. So this is a story where you see the gradual progression of Superman. I can explain parts of it because you mentioned before you didn't understand parts of
I
it.
don't think it's that I didn't understand it. It's that it's
You didn't think it made sense.
and it doesn't make sense. It's still, even though you explain it to me in those ways, it still doesn't cut the mustard with me.
So Superman in this, it jumps back and forth with time periods. But Superman is discovering himself, and he's like in his late 30s, I guess, and then he's constantly going back to flashbacks of him gaining powers and using powers as he was a kid, as he was a child, and as a teenager, because he doesn't gain them all at once. He slowly gains them because, just like Christopher Reeve's Superman gains his power from the sun. So the longer he's here, the more sunlight he absorbs, the stronger he becomes. And that's because he's from Krypton, which Kryptonians are essentially humans that evolved millions of years before we did on Earth and became an advanced society, and they destroyed their society. They destroyed their whole existence because they became so decadent and made really dumb choices that they destroyed Krypton. There's a lot of social commentary in this at the beginning about destroying your world and using up all your resources and that kind of stuff. Essentially, it's about climate change, social commentary. But Superman in this, Kryptonians evolved to live on Krypton. They're just normal like humans. But because they come from a planet that has such a harsher atmosphere and a red sun, when you send one of those people to Earth, they have to adjust to live here, but they're also way stronger. So he's an alien, and because he draws power from our Earth, which is a younger star, he has all these superpowers. But he's not as powerful as the 1970s Christopher Reeve Superman, because that was way overpowered. So you can't hurt him, you just got to hit him really hard. And I really enjoy the progression of this, and the fight with Zod, and Michael Shen's amazing in this. His the way he plays it as a fanatical general, he really sells it. Okay, he's doing a great job acting. He must be chewing all the scenery on set, because he looks like he's having a great time. I mean, the action is that's some of the best superhero action scenes I've seen. Okay, especially that Smallville fight. It was great work, and that was Zack Snyder's doing. I suspect a lot of the story is from Christopher Nolan, who also worked on it with his brother, and also the story was also by David S. Goyer, who I'm not really a big fan of his stuff, but he has to work on pretty much every superhero project at Warner Brothers, so all the DC stuff. I give this best movie ever. I can explain some things about it, but I've already talked to you about it, and if anyone has any questions for me on this movie makes a lot of sense regardless of what Christine is going to say. And I've seen this movie so many times, and I'm going to continue to watch it. That's why I have my Blu-ray copy of it. I even have a Blu-ray 3D copy, but I don't watch the 3D version anymore.
You lost your glasses.
No, I still have them. I know where they are, and I can charge them at any time to use them. I just can't be bothered with it. But this movie is a visual feast, and I really enjoy the storyline. So I give it best movie ever. What kind of ranking would you give this one, the first movie of the DCEU?
I did not like it at all. I had seen it when it first came out, and I remembered I didn't like it. And I watched it again last week, and I really didn't like it. I find it's inconsistent. It doesn't make much sense. These very advanced society just let themselves get blown up, and they can only send like. Sure, I like the whole thing with Superman. His parents send him off to Earth, and he's crashing. He's a baby, but it doesn't make sense the way they portrayed it in this version. It doesn't make sense.
You didn't like Russell Crowe as Jor-El?
It makes no sense. Anyway, and it's very inconsistent. Superman himself is not awe-inspiring in any way. He's just like roaming around the earth, doing some odd jobs. He doesn't try to help anybody. He's just doing his own thing. He doesn't say very much. What he does say isn't that smart.
He's kind of stoic.
No, he's kind of stunned.
Well,
that's me.
This is kind of his first day on the job as Superman, and he has to fight Kryptonians and General Zod.
Can't even stay home to paint his mother's house. And
he was off discovering himself.
Off the coast of Newfoundland fishing somewhere. He's not helping anybody. He doesn't seem... The portrayal of Superman, I really don't like it. He's a dud. He's a real dud. The only reason why he's involved in this movie is because the people are after him. Mm-hmm. So he has to be involved in it. If they weren't after him, he would not be involved in it because he doesn't involve himself in anything. He's got his head down all the time, just pretending to be a nobody.
You talk about he's saving people all the time.
No, rarely. He's not like.
Talk about he saved those fishermen. He saved all those oil rig workers.
Because he was there.
He saved all those oil rig workers.
He's not trying to search out people to help. He's just doing his own thing. Anyway, it's poor. His father dies saving a dog from a tornado, and the dog probably was going to survive the tornado anyway.
The death of Pa Kent
was ridiculous.
The death of Pa Kent is not very good. But Jor-El, Russell Crowe as Jor-El, his biological father, he's great.
It's just poor, and it's so inconsistent. He has strength, and he doesn't have strength, and then he has strength again, then he doesn't have strength. His strength wanes throughout the whole movie. It doesn't grow, as you say. It doesn't. It wanes back and forth.
It does grow, and he loses it only when he's exposed to Kryptonian atmosphere.
No Kryptonian. He loses it on Earth. It makes no sense. It doesn't make sense, even though you tried to explain to me why Zod all of a sudden has no control over his senses when he's on Earth. This guy's been through all the wars, and he all of a sudden can't handle Earth. Doesn't make sense. It's just poor. They're smashing up the city, but yet their city is smashed, and then the next scene the city is fine. And then the next scene the city is smashed, and the next scene the city is fine.
Did you see how big that city was?
No,
they only blew up one part of it.
Creating earthquakes every 5 seconds, the city would be smashed. And the only people that survive on the whole street are the 3 people that Lois works with.
Well, yeah, they're the stars. You're not going to get rid of your big stars.
There's nobody else there. It was just poor, and the relationship between him and Lois is really stunted. It's really stunted. They hardly even talk. And then they're kissing, which I think is just unprofessional. It's
all about the action.
No, it's just poor. And the action is terrible. In my mind, it's just terrible. And
so you think the romance was a bit forced? You think they should have...
It's so forced, and there isn't even a romance. She's just after a story. And he flies around and stuff. I think it was
they could have waited till the next movie for them.
Just poor. And I thought, I don't know, it was just bad. And Zod's motivations don't make any sense. I just think it's a very poor movie.
I thought his motivations made perfect sense.
Not to me. And I know what's going on in the movie. It's not like I don't know what's going on.
He's trying to restore Krypton.
I give this movie a 32.
Ouch.
So I really didn't like it. And I did remember not liking it. And I think it's, to me, I almost feel like it's disrespectful to Superman. Anyway, that's how I feel about it.
This is actually quite respectful of canon from the comics.
It's disrespectful of Superman. The portrayal of the character is just wrong in my mind.
This is just a different version of Superman, so it's a reboot. I'll tell you, on Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 56% Rotten critic rating. and a 75% audience score. So 3/4 of people said they liked it.
That's not very good, though.
That's pretty good.
No. It's not a good movie. I totally did not like it.
I don't think this movie made a lot of money because they never did make a Man of Steel 2, and they're not going to now. The DCEU they've said it's going to come to an end. They haven't really told us what's happening, except that it's rebooting, sort of, but some characters are going to stay the same and others are going to change. So we're getting a new Superman. Personally, I really enjoy this Man of Steel movie from 2013. It's not your thing.
No.
I respect your opinion, and you did have some good points there, okay? The Lois and Clark thing, I could definitely see. They could have waited. They didn't need to have them, be kissing at the end of this movie, because why would they be? They barely know each other.
And what also doesn't make sense is at the end he puts glasses on and then goes to join the newsroom.
But they did have
and
a
they
near-death
don't recognize him?
They did have a near-death experience together when they were on that Kryptonian ship. Maybe that really bonded them.
But her co-workers have seen him too, and he just puts a dorky pair of glasses on. It made sense that he's at the newspaper first and they don't know who he is. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. This makes no sense that at the end and they all know who he looks like. Then he joins the newspaper? He's got no skills to join the newspaper. He works out on a fishing boat. He's like an oil pig.
There's no requirements to be a journalist.
He can't get a job at the newspaper. This guy just knows how to put fences together or something. Yeah. Anyway.
Also, they shouldn't have done a newspaper, even in 2013. I mean, talk about a dead industry.
Well, there are still newspapers.
I mean, they still got newspapers, but you still need investigative journalists, but...
you love those investigative journalists.
Well, I'm not going to get into my opinion of that, but... You still need investigative journalists, but you don't need newspapers. You just have different news outlets. It's all online,
Sorry to newspapers. I do love a good newspaper.
Come on, this isn't...
You don't, but I do.
This isn't 1890.
No, it isn't. It makes no sense that he goes to the newspaper at the end and no one seems to know who he is. Even though he's this giant guy with these big muscles and just has a little pair of glasses on. His hair isn't even different. Like, he doesn't even act different. Like, anyway. Clark Kent is like goofy. His hair is slicked back. He's got the glasses and he's all goofy. And nobody has no idea he's Superman because
that's
they
the
haven't
Christopher
seen
Reeve Superman.
They haven't seen Superman before. They've just seen the guy. He's just been there and they know what he looks like. And then they don't recognize him. Anyway.
That's always been the
thing.
Maybe
they have bad opticians.
That's always been the thing about Superman. Eyesight. It's like, how do they not know, Well, it's coming from Clark Kent?
Yeah, it's coming from
Superman.
left field.
They could never tell.
No, but at least they have no reference point. They've just seen him and now he comes to work for them. And what is he gonna do? Fish for them? I mean
No, he's the new stringer. He's gonna be doing stories.
Oh, he has so much experience at that.
I don't know. Did he finish college?
No,
I don't think he did.
He just went off to work on a fishing boat and be an oil pig or something.
He went on a walkabout to help people and find himself. He was also working in that town as a busboy at the bar.
Yeah, he's got so many skills.
Then he was hitchhiking for a while.
He's like he doesn't have the qualifications. Gosh. Anyway, you know how hard it is to get to work at a newspaper because there aren't very many jobs in there anymore. Anyway, on that note, that's my say on it. I think it's not very good.
I think they did the Daily Planet because that's such a part of Superman's lore, but they could have done it as like an online site. It could have been the dailyplanet.com.
That wasn't my problem with it. My problem was that they put that at the end of the movie, not at the beginning. Anyway, just moping around on a fishing boat. That made no sense at all. Abandon his poor mother. She can't pay her own house. Her house is falling down and he's off.
Do you agree that they did a good job of showing how poor the Kents are?
No, because they have a farm. They have lots of land. They're not poor.
Yeah, but now that his father's dead and his mother can't keep up the farm.
Because he's off on some fishing boat. That made no sense why he wasn't helping her. Mm-hmm. She could be a teacher in school. I don't know. We don't know anything about her.
Well, we do learn more about the house in the next movie.
Well, it needs a painting.
So Oh yeah, Zod trashed. He threw the truck into it.
No, it wasn't looking good before that. I mean, it just didn't. It was just so inconsistent.
But Zod did throw the truck because he was throwing a temper tantrum, and it landed on his house.
Get her a new house and paint it up for her.
He doesn't have any money. Superman's poor. Okay, you're thinking of Bruce Wayne. He's got all the money.
No, but they're not poor. They have like trucks and houses. That's not poor. Anyway.
Okay. I really enjoyed this. I know a lot of people enjoy it. A lot of people don't enjoy it. You've heard our opinions. What do you think of Man of Steel from 2013? Personally, I think it's great. Definitely best movie ever. So next we're going to be watching Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice from 2016. That's the second movie.
All I remember about this movie was that I was prepared that it probably wasn't going to be very good. And I saw it, and what I saw is what I thought I was going to get. And I remember you were so excited, and you were like,
I was excited.
This isn't very good.
It was a big disappointment for me.
It met my expectation level.
If you enjoyed either of these movies, don't worry about what we have to say. And if you enjoy Man of Steel, just do what I do. Don't worry about what Christine has to say on it. I watch it over and over again. She doesn't have to watch it with me.
I think we can have fun on the next one, making fun of it.
Hey, Kitty.
I think that would be fun, because I know you didn't enjoy it. I think you did enjoy it. I didn't.
Good, Kitty.
I just thought, I knew what it was going to be like, and it was like that. So I wasn't really disappointed.
Say something nice about Man of Steel. Say one nice thing. And I'll say one bad thing about it.
One nice thing about
it. I already said bad things about it. I don't like the Jonathan Kent death.
Well, I thought that the look of Krypton was really cool.
Oh yeah, I love Krypton in this, even though it makes no sense. I love it.
The problem is that it was too cool, because they shouldn't have been that smart. That was the problem. It was too cool. It wouldn't have been that cool, because they're falling. The place is going to blow up. That was the problem with it. But I thought it did look cool.
You're not understanding the point. It's a decadent society that has become so decadent and lost their way. They've led themselves to ruin.
That makes sense. Anyway, I thought that was cool looking. Yeah, I give it that.
Okay. Let us know what you think of Man of Steel from 2013. Do you like it? Do you not? Are you one of those Snyderverse people that love all these things? I don't know. Let us know down in the comments below. And that's our first segment of, what do we call it again? Into the DCEU. Okay. We're going to sign off for today. Here, do you want to give out our contact information?
Yeah. You can contact us at CanadaMovieTVHosers@gmail.com if you want to submit anything for us to talk about, or anything you want to comment on. You can find us on Twitter at CanadaHosers, or you can find Gregory on Twitter at St. John's Critic. You can, if you want us to get our attention on Twitter, you can use the hashtag CanadaHosers, and Gregory will see that. So please like and subscribe, and if you have any comments, you can leave them with us.
Yeah,
Kenny's gonna come back and
I've been replying to all the comments. Mostly it's on YouTube. There was some other comments that I got on Twitter, but they were just people being mean. That's Twitter, so I'm not gonna read that out. If you enjoyed this, please give us the thumbs up. Like this, that'll help us out, and you can also subscribe because there's more content here all the time. And we're going to record another episode in a couple of days.
Yeah, after we watch Batman versus Superman, and I'm going to have fun with that one.
Yeah, we got a few things to review. Plus, we're going to do another segment of nap time at Hogwarts.
Oh, yes, nap time at Hogwarts.
From all of us, take care, everyone. Till next time.
Bye.
See ya.